How do you write an equation by looking at a graph? So to put together a linear equation or a function, you would just put the information you have and just write y equals mx plus b, which means you need to know the slope and the y-intercept. The y-intercept is easy to find. It's just visually where the line crosses the y-axis. So in this case, we already know that it's going to be 3. So to find the slope, we talked about how to find it by picking 2 points on the line, and we're going to do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So in this case, we can pick a point that's already there. So this point is easy to find, so we can still use it. We're going to write the coordinate for it, and this is 0, 3. Now we need to find another point. So we could find, for example, this point, because it's right on the grid, we can see it. So the coordinate for this point is -5, 1. So using these 2 points, we can then use the formula y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So to plug in the numbers, y2 is 3. Let's call that, let's call this one our second point, and the other one our first point. So y2 is going to be 1. Okay, and then we're going to subtract y1 is 3. Now we look at the x-coordinates. Now make sure that the direction is consistent, because we already decided the one on the left is going to be the second point. So when we plug in, we have to write that one first. And then x1 would be then the x-coordinate of the other point. So now we can simplify the fraction. So 1 minus 3 is -2. And then -5 minus 5 is -5. To simplify it one more step, because negative makes a positive, so the slope is 2/5. Now we can put together the slope and the y-intercept to write our function. So this one would be then y equals, so let's change that to green so we know that that's a slope. So the slope is 2/5, so mx plus b, which is our y-intercept. And that together is the linear function. So to sum up the steps, number 1 is to find, actually you can do either y-intercept or slope. I usually do y-intercept first because it's so easy to see. So I would find the y-intercept. And then step 2, find 2 points to get the slope. And then you can put the formula here, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And then the last step then is put together y equals mx plus b. And I suggest that when you find these 2 points, you would use one of them as the y-intercept, because we already found it and it's usually easy to see, so it's easier to calculate as well.